What's up, guys? We're here with our Wonder Woman tutorial. This is just going to be a basic tutorial on Wonder Woman, how she plays, what are her normals, her mix-ups, what's her game, what does she do, etc. So, first and foremost, a little description. Wonder Woman's basically a character who is built around frame traps, and her frame traps help her set up a very interesting rushdown game that kind of is based on... it's a frame trap game, it's a high-low game, it's a left-right game with her air dash and her knockdown setups. So she's a really mix-up heavy character. She really just has to get in, and once she gets in, she's really, really good. I think she has some of the better normals in the game, some of the better rushdown in the game, and definitely the best frame trap game, bar none, in Injustice. So let's talk a little bit about some of her notable normals and stuff like that. The basics that you need to know about is... her down 1-2. Her down 1 is 6 frames. So it's fast as, any down 1 can be in this game. But her down 1-2 is very good because it hits very, very fast, right? Which is helpful for her against armored characters. And her down 1-2 is only -1 on block, which means characters with slower down 1s have a lot of trouble with down 1-2, down 1-2 because their buttons are so slow that a lot of times it's hard for them to interrupt it. So a character like Bane, the only thing he can do to get out of that is like... if you're doing down 1-2, down 1-2, he has to like reversal with uppercut to get out. He can't just armor through traditionally with double punch or something like that. Like he has to deal with it in a different way than a lot of characters. So stuff like that. So her down 1-2 is really good. If you have meter, you can link it into TR and start a combo off of it. You can hit confirm. Like you can buffer the motion, and if you see a hit, then you get your combo. So really good. Her down 1-2. Her down 2 is one of the best anti-airs in the game. It just absolutely eats up jump-ins, and the reason is because her hitbox is so small. Like you can use her down 2 to duck a lot of strings in a game as well, so it's really, really good. It's very similar to her down 3, but yeah, down 2 definitely has this huge, great hitbox and very, very good anti-air. One of the few characters who can consistently anti-air. And yeah, her down 2 is definitely one of the best anti-air tools. You have to use it if you're a Wonder Woman player because it's really just ridiculous. Like if you guys have ever played against Wonder Woman, you guys know what I'm talking about. Down 3. Her down 3 is definitely, in my opinion, a top 5 button in this game. Not because of the damage or anything. Like it doesn't hit that hard, and it doesn't lead to anything, but it makes things whiff. So if I set my opponent, to wake up with lasso spin. Or not lasso grab, lasso spin. And you guys see I walk up and just do down 3 on wake up. You see the lasso spin just completely whiffs. And then I can whiff punish it. So she can do that to like 90% of the wake ups in this game. And 90% of the strings in this game. She just walks up. Oh, down 3 and then gets whatever she wants. Like it's kind of ridiculous. So the utility on her down 3 is incredible. Like it basically makes like half the meter in forward 3s and back 3s in the game. Like absolutely whiff. Like... it makes the majority of wake-ups in this game whiff, or it stuffs them if they're not true wake-ups. And it's kind of a ridiculous button. So if you're a Wonder Woman player, down 3 is definitely something you have to be abusing. It goes under most strings. It'll go under a Superman forward 2-3, just like for her down 2 will and stuff like that. So it's really good. Let's talk about her neutral buttons. She has back 2. Her back 2 is definitely a fantastic button. One of the reasons that makes it so good is the fact that you can anti-air from a range about this. If anybody ever jumps, the upward hitbox is good enough to anti-air with it, as long as you're standing a little bit further back from them when they jump. So it's a really, really good anti-air tool. You can obviously link it into her lasso grab. But what's even more useful is, and there's a string attached to it, back 2-3. But if you're up close, you can combo off of it without anything, just like that. So you get like what, 30? Yeah, you get 30% off of it if you can combo off of it point blank with 2-3, just like that. So yeah, it's a really, 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 really good button. It has a lot of utility, very, really far range, and in the corner, that lasso grab follow-up gives you a very nice knockdown setup. So her back 2 is definitely a great button, and it's also part of her high-low game. So up close, she has her back 2, which is an overhead, and she has her 3-3, which is a low. Now the important thing about 3-3 is not only is that a low, but it's also plus on block. So this is where her frame trap game starts up. Her back 1 is also part of this. Her back 1 and her back 1-1, both of these are plus on block, right? So she has those, and she has her 3-3 to get her plus frames. Now the important part about this, I'll just put the AI onto always block, right? So the important part about this is if you do 3-3 and your opponent blocks, if they try to hit any button after, your down 1-2 will always win. And like I mentioned, you can turn your down 1-2 into a combo with Tiara. So If they try to hit any button after your back 1 or your back 1-1, your down 1-2 will blow them up. It'll frame trap them every time. So once your opponents become scared after you do stuff like 3-3 or back 1 on block, that's when you can start setting up the mix-up game. You can start doing your back 2 or overhead while they're just crouch blocking. You can do another 3-3 for more plus frames. You can throw. You can do instant air dash setups. You know, you can do whatever you want, right? You have all these options that you can do. Once you get them to respect the plus frames. If they start trying to backdash, you can forward dash and chase with your own 3-3 and it'll punish them. So, you know, you have all these great options to do. And, like, once you start doing 3-3, if they're blocking, you can always just back to point blank and it'll always open them up if they don't have the reactions to deal with it. So, it's just, that's just part of how Wonder Woman works. Like, she is entirely built around this game of, I'm plus, are you brave enough to hit a button? Or are you going to have to deal with the mix-up? You know, if she goes for her down 1-2, she's now negative. You can get out of her pressure. But if she doesn't, then, you know, you might be eating a high-low, a throw game, or air dash game, or just more plus frames. So no matter what you do, it's a pretty terrible situation for you, and that's what Wonder Woman's built around. Checking your opponents with her down 1-2 after her plus frames just to see if you're brave enough to hit a button. And if you are, then you die. And if you're not, then she can go for her 50-50 game. So that's kind of like the basis of it. We'll go over some of her special moves right now. So you guys saw she has her lasso grab, looks like this. This is her main combo ender. It gives her this great knockdown for all these great Oki situations, especially in the corner mid-screen as well. Like, you can get this little jump after, and it's it deals with a lot of wake-ups really well. You can also jump and then air dash to blow up wake-ups. They'll fly past you the opposite direction. So there's that as well. Certain characters' wake-ups will always whiff on that, and then you can punish them. So that's just something to keep in mind. Whoops. She also has a multitude of, you know, interesting tiara things. So she has her straight tiara, which you can combo with the meter burn, as I showed you guys. She has up tiara, and then in the air she has her down tiara and straight tiara as well. So her zoning is kind of limited, but it's not terrible. Her instant air tiara is a pretty decent tool to try to zone people with, but it's not the best. It's just okay. That's pretty much how it works. She has her lasso spin, which is one of the best wake-ups in the game. Leads to about 40% meterless and has a huge aerial hitbox. It hits people really high on their jump. So if they ever try to jump out of anything, if they try to neutral jump on your wake-up, that will always blow you up. You have this uppercut, which you can use in certain situations when you OTG. But it's not really that useful. It's just a secondary wake-up tool, kind of. And you have her dive punch, which she obviously has dive punch resets in the corner. You guys have probably seen them before. After her whip ender, you'll see the dive punch resets. And if you ever hit somebody with like a cross-up dive punch and you meter burn it, whoops, then you guys will see, yeah, you get this little knockdown. You can combo off of it. So it's pretty cheap. And that's one of the best parts about her meter burn dive punch. You get the combo off of it. Let's talk a little bit about her shield stance. So Wonder Woman's trait, like similarly to Nightwing's, is a secondary stance. Now, similarly to Nightwing as well, she gives up her mobility, but gains some defensive tools, and just a different set of tools in general, a lot more defensive. One thing I forgot to mention about the stance is it has a parry. Her parry works on projectiles and strings, and it's gives her a damage boost if you ever parry anything with it. And I was just gonna mention that because in this stance she has a parry as well. But the interesting thing about this parry is it has a hitbox. As you guys can see right there, it definitely has a hitbox on hit or block. So it makes that parry one of the better parries in the game, I think, just because on hit or block, it's definitely still gonna come out. So it's a really good tool, and it's a very weird special move. So in this stance, she has similar zoning tools. She has the up shield, she has the air shields and stuff like that. Whoops. So yeah, you guys get the idea. It's the same kind of thing with that, but another thing that she has in this stance is she has really high corner damage. The stance is what you do usually when you transition to corner damage. You use this stance for stuff. If you guys want to see any B&Bs for Wonder Woman, then I'd check out Test Your Mind. You'll find a great collection there. But yeah, mostly in the corner she can juggle with her 1-1 back 1, and yeah, her corner damage with this stance is intense. She has her shield bash, which is negative on block, but she can meter burn for plus frames, and she can do it super late. As you saw there, you can meter burn it at like the last possible second, and it's not like it matters. Similarly to her other stance, as she can do back 2 trait cancel and hit confirm the super just like that. She can do the same kind of thing in the other stance. This is a low. She can hit confirm into super with her trait cancel, so it's a really good trade-off for her. She can also do like this and hit confirm just like that. So you know, she has decent ways to transition between stances. She can also do the same thing with that as well. She can do like, whoops, she can do that shield toss to or the tiara throw to continue comboing off of it. So both of her stances have all kinds of utility. Another interesting thing about this stance is that she takes less chip. So it's just like Grundy's chip trait, where you take almost no chip on block. Nothing. It's really hard to chip Wonder Woman out in this. She can just down back and turtle all day. She has her straight shield, which is a great counter zoning tool. It's a really fantastic projectile, and a lot of characters have trouble dealing with it. It can punish like Aquaman from the deep, just like her meter burn shield bash can. So it's a really great tool for that. This stance in general is a little bit slower, but she has a great plus down 1. She has some really decent up close normals for mix up. She has like the overhead. She has the low overhead and the low overhead string, low overhead and low string right there that you can do as well. So yeah, she has all kinds of different things in this stance that kind of change up the way she plays. So together, it makes the character really dangerous. So besides that and her hit confirmable super, that's pretty much what you're gonna have going on for her. She really never spends any bar, and that's just, you know, the basics of Wonder Woman. One thing that I'll show you guys real quick that is not really that basic, but I think it's kind of interesting, is her knockdown game after her forward 3 mix-up. So if you guys haven't seen her basic B&B, whatever you start with, whether it's back 1-1-3, down 1-2 tiara, or 3-3, usually do 2-3 after, back 3, jump 3, back 1-1-3 into lasso grab, right? That's her meterless damage. But there's a way, if you want a better knockdown against whatever character you're fighting, to do a different variation of the same combo. So you can, after your back 3, you can dash up and do forward 3, right? So you get a lot less damage, but you get the interesting situation, whoops, where you get a knockdown that's really beneficial for Wonder Woman. Whoops. Sorry about that, guys. Alright. Yeah, you get a knockdown that's very beneficial for Wonder Woman, because that forward 3 right there will cross up, and you can also go for different setups. Like, I did that a little too late. It's been a while since I've done this setup. You can go for all kinds of shenanigan-like setups, like a neutral jump setup that will randomly cross up or not. You can do cross up forward 3. You can do dash cancel into overhead. So you get all these great mix-up situations where your opponent sort of has to deal with it. And like I mentioned, the forward 3 right there will cross up if I can get it to work. Oh my gosh. Alright, I'll try it one more time. And if not, you guys will just have to believe me. Yeah, so that forward 3 will cross up right there. So, like I said, you get all kinds of great mix-up situations off of it. And it's definitely very useful for her. Since her forward 3 crosses up so easily, she can set up all kinds of really silly mix-up games off of it. So, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. The long and short of this is abuse her frame traps, abuse her great buttons, abuse her high-low game, and understand how to hit confirm into super and use both stances. So, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this, learned a little bit about Wonder Woman, and I'll see you guys again soon.